Hi, all. This is Rachel. This is our Zilker Park family bike ride. We had this in July 2024. We actually start here at Toomey Ballfields when we ride at Zilker Park. We're here with our friends, which is another family, and we've invited a couple other people as well too. Here's a playground here on the left-hand side. It's great if you are looking to actually ride in Zilker Park to park in the Toomey Ballfields, and we usually do it on a Saturday evening, which it doesn't tend to be super crowded doing it on a Saturday evening, so that's usually when we ride. So here we are on the trail in Zilker Park here. We are actually here at the park already. So we are going down this area here. And for those of you who have commented, I apologize for, getting back to your comments so late. We've just had a busy summer with everything and activities, and I've got some footage of rides around town, and we've joined a new group, so I'll tell you all about it in our upcoming recording. So we're going to go here on a left turn here. And when you're in the Zilker Park, when there's pedestrians, you just got to be very, very careful. Slow down, especially when you see small children and animals. And we're just kind of here. Here's some pedestrians here on the left hand side. Just be careful because you don't want to give, electric vehicles a bad name. I know around Austin, there are people with, their views against electric vehicles. And if you actually, be a good rider and abide by the rules, then you should be okay. Okay, here we are. We're at a group stop, so please stand by here. Everyone's getting a drink of water, and we are ready to go. I will say the group that we're riding with, our friends, they are primarily bike riders, and they don't have electric bikes for the most part. Usually it's just regular bikes. So we are going at a very comfortable speed. Thank you so much again for listening. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. But we're not going too fast because of that. And I do enjoy going with these groups, which is more of a casual rider because that's who we are. So we're here going along Town Lake here, which is on the left-hand side at Zilker Park. As you can see, we're not going that fast. So here's Town Lake on the left-hand side. See people running, pedestrians, people walking their dogs. It's a Saturday evening. And it's really nice when we go, usually in the evenings on a Saturday. So it's usually not that crowded. So we're going underneath this bridge, a couple bridges. And there's a pedestrian here. Stay tuned because we will see the bats. We're Bat Bridge. This is one of the bridges where there's bats, but we will see the bats. So just stay tuned if you keep watching here on our channel, EUC in Austin. And so we have caught up with the group. We kind of give them distance when we're riding in front of us because we are electric, we're on electric vehicles and they're just on regular bikes, so that we're not, all together because we can go at our speed. So watch out for dogs here. You see this dog here on the right. Sometimes you don't know what the dogs are going to do, so you don't want to go so fast if you're riding on an electric vehicle because they are actually programmed. It's just part of their, I guess, nature to actually just chase things that go fast like cars. So we're making a left turn here, okay? And we are headed to the Butler Park. And if you have small children and you're listening to this, this is kind of our, when we go with our friends here, this group, this is basically usually our route that we go because they do have children and there's some children with us, our daughters with us as well too. We're making a right here. Just got to be careful when you cross here the street because of the cars. Just don't go unless you know that you can cross the street. I know pedestrians do have the right of way, but you just need to be careful. So we're kind of crossing the street here, and we're making our way to Butler Park. As you can tell, we have not been riding that long, so it didn't even take us that long to get to Butler Park. So I don't know if anyone here has been to Butler Park. If you have, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Butler Park, if you've ever ridden it. It's pretty nice, especially if you have small children, because they do have a playground. It's a place where we stop as a group so that the kids can play, the adults can relax, and then after that we kind of move on as you continue to watch this video to the next place that we're going to ride to. But this is Butler Park, if you've never seen it here. They also have restrooms here, and there's always somebody selling a little ice cream. They have a little trolley selling ice cream here as well too. But if you're planning to, ride here, I would bring your own snacks and your own drinks, because there's not much, especially around the park here for eating. So here's a playground here on the right. And again, watch out for pedestrians. There's always small children here. It's a very popular park to go to. I can't imagine how it is during the day with children. We usually kind of come in the evenings, in the early evenings on Saturdays, so it's usually not that bad. So we're riding here around the park, and we're coming up to a splash pad here on the right, which is really cool. The kids always love to play in the splash pad, and if you have small children, we always make sure, well, sometimes I don't, but our friends always make sure to bring a towel. There's downtown Austin there, the skyline, but because the kids can get really wet on the splash pad. So here we are with the group. We're going to take a quick break here and let the kids, relax and have fun, and have the adults also relax. So this is playtime for the kids. This is one of our rest stops. And the kids here are playing. So while they are playing, I decided to go ahead and take my own footage of the park. So just for you as a, watcher and subscriber of EUC in Austin, so that you can actually see Butler Park as I ride it, because there's other areas to ride here in Butler Park. I'm basically going to go in a circle here. So I'm basically just leaving the splash pad area. I wouldn't say it's such a big park that you can't find things like the playground or the splash pad area. So you should be able to find this area pretty easy if you do go to Butler Park and you've never been to Butler Park. But as you can tell, as you can see, there's a lot of children, a lot of small children, pedestrians. We just need to slow down, people walking their dogs. And I am just riding here on the path here in Butler Park. So I'm just kind of continuing on here so that y'all can see. Now I will say, sometimes when I ride, my camera, it is getting dark actually, my camera will actually go flip up, and I need to reposition it. And so if you see that here, that's probably what is happening. And sometimes it's kind of hard for me to actually ride and reposition my camera at the same time, because I am using a GoPro and it is on my helmet. Oh, see, there's some branches there, on my head. So it's not on my chest, it's actually on my head, the GoPro. If anyone is interested in the GoPro, I use it a lot. And it's better for, if anyone's interested, for daytime versus nighttime, because once it's dark, it's just the lighting's not so great, especially in areas where, you don't get a lot of lighting. Okay, here we are. As you can tell, and I haven't been riding that far. Here's a playground. There's one on the right and one on the left. It's actually a good sized playground. If you're listening to this and you have children, there is swings here on the right, and then the bigger playgrounds on the left hand side. I think they have about 2 or 3 playgrounds actually here in Butler Park. So it's really nice. And again, I apologize. My camera looks like it's just angled too high. I need to readjust the camera here. But that tends to happen, especially, riding. And I want to be safe when I'm riding, the EUC. So here I am. I'm back here to the start. So I hope you enjoy that footage. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that. Here's a downtown area. There's a skyline, EUC in Austin. And again, it's about evening time, around 7, 8-ish p.m. here in Austin. Okay. So as you can see, it was getting dark, and we were actually in Butler Park longer than I expected, since you can see it's dark. And we are here. We are actually leaving Butler Park. So this is nighttime. So, the friends that we go with, when we do bike with them, they like to ride in the evening, at night. I think it's kind of cool because, we kind of see the first half. We kind of see, it's still kind of daytime, even though it's 7, 8 o'clock at night, we can still see. And then we roll up into the evening here, and we're doing some night riding. So if anyone listens here and does night riding here in Austin, I'd love to hear your experience, your comments. There's my daughter right there. She just zoomed out in front of me. And, riding at night, what is super important is to have lights. And, with the bike lights, again, if you like what you hear, like and subscribe. With the bike lights, I find that they're not the brightest. And here's Auditorium Shores here on the right-hand side. So if you do have bike lights, try to find brighter ones, or get multiple lights. Some people like to put lights on their wheels just so that you're seen. An additional thing is to wear reflective, clothes. Okay, here we are crossing the street, kind of like what the construction workers wear while they're working the street. We just joined a new riding group, and I'll tell you more about that in our upcoming videos. And the people who are like the leaders, they're really good, and they are in that reflective gear. So it's really good there. So here we are. We are here on the sidewalk, I believe. And we're back on Zilker Park here. So the park here, if you want to gauge where we are, is on the left-hand side, and the street is on the right. And again, I apologize about my helmet. I'm going to have to fix that as I ride. But like I said, my camera, my GoPro, is actually on my head. And if anyone is interested, I am using the GoPro Hero 8, I believe, for the GoPro. So if anyone is interested in that, and I've had it for years. It's been a great camera for me for these rides. Okay, again, lighting is essential. There are going to be it's going to get spooky. There's going to be some areas that are going to be dark, especially in Zilker Park, as we go along through this video. So you will see firsthand how dark it can be in Zilker Park at this time of the night. It is kind of dark right now. And like I will say, again, here we are at Zilker Park, I will say the more you're in the park and less away from the streets and there's no lamps, for those of you who've been to Zilker Park, you know what I'm talking about. It's more like wooded area with high trees, and you don't see the street as much, the darker it's going to be. Versus here, you can still see there's downtown Austin, there's skyline at night. Versus here, you're going to see, some street lamps. We're still near the street, right? And some lighting, because cars can actually, drive here through the street. So you're going to see some lighting there, and you can kind of still see things. But there are areas in Zilker Park at night where it is super dark. And, you want to make sure that you have lighting, just so that, you're not taken by surprise by something in the middle of the road and maybe there's somebody there, that you don't see. So you just want to make sure and be careful, So here we are. We're kind of getting crowded area here. And when you ride and you're getting like a little crowded, when you're riding, you need to just kind of slow down, especially on an electric vehicle, and then give yourself room from when you're riding from the people in front of you so that you can just kind of keep your balance, okay? And like I said, the electric unicycle, there's Town Lake here on the left. It's one of those things, we just love riding it. It does take time to learn, but once you learn it, it's great. And if you are interested in an electric vehicle, I mean, there's other electric vehicles as well, too. There's e-bikes, there's scooters. My husband rides an e-skateboard. Okay, you want to watch out for pedestrians here that are walking here on the left. There's just so many options. And if you have any questions about electric vehicles in general or specific ones, feel free to drop it down here in the comments, and I'll be able to answer your question as much as I can. But if you're interested in what we ride, in this video, my husband is actually riding the InMotion V11, which is a great commuter vehicle. It does have suspension. And my daughter is riding a Begode Mountain Climber version 2, which actually, we're slowing down for pedestrians, which actually goes up mountains, believe it or not. And for me, I either ride the Sherman Max, which is a really, really heavy wheel. It's like 80 or 90 pounds. But my favorite wheel is actually my original wheel, my InMotion V8. It's only 28 pounds, I believe, and it's just super portable, which I like. Okay, we're getting into a crowded area here. We're getting very close to, I think it's Congress Bridge, where everyone is watching the bats. So again, sometimes if it's just too crowded, here's Bat Bridge. We're walking towards Bat Bridge. You just need to get off the vehicle and walk it. Would not suggest, taking that risk. Okay, here's the bats flying. Would not suggest taking the risk of, bumping into a pedestrian, okay? Safety first. Okay, so here it is. You see the bats flying. It's really hard to see. It's one of those things where you had to be there. If you've ever done this, let me know in the comments, what has been your experience. Have you ever ridden Zilker Park? It is a very crowded area at this time of night and seen the bats on Congress Bridge, or if you've actually gone over the bridge to just kind of see, the bats. We just caught it at a good time, But I apologize. It is not easy to see the bats actually in this video. So it is getting very dark. As you can see, you can barely see anything. And we're just stopping here to observe the bats. There is Congress Bridge. There are the people on Congress Bridge, and the bats are flying. It's time for them to, come out at night, since they are, nocturnal animals. It's really neat to do the bat watching. We kind of took a quick rest stop there and then moved on. Now we are leaving the bat area. So as you can tell, we started out in Toomey Fields, then we went to the Butler Park, then we continued to Zilker Park, went to the bat area. That's pretty much Congress Bridge, just to give you an idea of kind of what our route is. As we continue on. Now we are headed to the boardwalk, which is kind of cool, and it's away from all of those things, all those people in Zilker Park. We are slowing down because this area is very, not lighted, very dark from, where we came from the Bat Bridge going towards the boardwalk. So we just need to be careful as we continue on here. Like I said, the GoPro doesn't take the best footage at night, so just bear with me in terms of what you can see. Probably, if you're thinking of doing this, it is super dark. Probably try it during the day first when there's lighting, so you can get familiar with the terrain. There are, like anything, there are dips, and you just need to make sure. We've ridden this so many times that, it just kind of, it's kind of muscle memory. in terms of riding it and where things are. Okay, we need to let the riders pass here on the left. I believe those people are on bikes. I believe, yeah, they're biking. We're here on the right hand side, and my daughter and my husband, I think they are probably ahead in the group. I tend to stay in the back because I'm the one that is shooting all the video. And, it's just, I'm not a fast rider. I'm a very casual rider. There's a bike rider here on the left, but we are continuing on going towards the boardwalk. There are some, I believe, here on the right-hand side. These are some apartments here. And again, you see somebody running. This is in the summer, so it is still kind of hot. And, once we start riding at night, I think that's one of the reasons that when we ride in the summers, we kind of start in the evenings, that, we just kind of, want to ride when it's cooler versus, at night. So that's just one of the things. So we're kind of continuing on here. Like you said, see, there's all those pedestrians. Like I said, there's all these pedestrians here that we want to avoid and just be slow and, being on an electric vehicle so that people can kind of see, not all riders of electric vehicles are fast riders and are, considerate of other people, because we never want to give, this is like night riding. Does anyone here like night riding? We don't want to give electric vehicles a bad name here. Okay, so here we are at the boardwalk here. EUC in Austin is at the boardwalk, and it's kind of cool here, just riding the boardwalk here at night. Now, we've done it also in the daytime where you can see, we've started earlier. I don't have any of that footage, but maybe, next time if we do it in the daytime, I can shoot the footage. It's really nice, actually, in the daytime to see this. You can't really see anything, but Town Lake here is on the left-hand side. And we are just continuing on. You will see, the downtown skyline. It is lighted at night, which is really cool. But this route, basically, we are going to go here on the boardwalk and then take a short break. And I believe in this video, we are going to turn around and continue on our ride. So at this point, we're here at the boardwalk. We need to slow down. We can see small children. There's pedestrians here. I'm sure people have been walking their dogs. And my camera is just kind of moving, as you can tell. And I'm going to have to do something about my camera moving. But I want to, that's the whole point of this channel, to show you everything from beginning to end on our rides, so that you, as a viewer and subscriber, here's a restaurant here on the right hand side, can see it from beginning to end. And so here we are with the group. We're caught up. It's a big size group. We're doing a rest stop here, so stand by where everyone can kind of rest their feet and then get a drink of water. We are back ready to ride. Now what we're doing is we're actually heading back, so we're going towards where we came back from. We're going towards Zilker Park. And we're heading back to Zilker Park. As you can see the downtown Austin skyline. We're heading towards all of that, towards where we came from, which was the, where the bats were on Congress Bridge. So we're doing all of that as we continue back. It's very nice. The skyline here on the right-hand side, and then Town Lake here is on the right-hand side as well too. So it's really nice when we do this. We do enjoy riding as a family. And I'm really glad that, we started this channel. It was actually my husband's idea to let other people know, what types of areas that we ride in as a family, for anyone there who's interested. So here we are. There's my husband there here on the left-hand side, the EUC rider. That's him. And again, he is on the InMotion V11, which is a suspension wheel, which is a really nice commuter wheel. So if anyone here has any questions about the wheels that we ride, or any questions about EUC wheels in general, feel free to drop it down in the comments. Let's slow down here for the pedestrians, and I'll be sure to answer them as best as I can. I think for now, thinking about it, we've been riding for the past couple of years already. So it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride an EUC, it's hard to go back to a bike or a scooter. I will say I have been taken. We do also have an electric scooter. I have an electric scooter InMotion L9, I believe, that I take to when I'm in our neighborhood. There's a recreation center where I go out to work out, and I just use that instead of taking the car, which is really nice. So I take that if I need to go to the recreation center and work out, which is in the neighborhood, which is very, very nice. So I do use a scooter. My husband does have an e-bike. He also has an e-skateboard. Oh, it's getting super dark here. If you have any questions about lighting, let me know. But it is very important. That V11 that my husband's on, the InMotion V11, has a super bright headlight. That's one of the things I really like about that ride. For my InMotion V8, which is my favorite wheel, it's great because it's portable. It's only, I believe, 28 pounds. However, the light on it is not that bright. But I also have like a flashlight on my helmet, as well as the light on the back of the helmet as well too. Here's a group of bikers here on the left-hand side. It's great when we see fellow bikers, fellow other groups as well too when we ride on this. But like I said, with the V8, it's just the headlight's not that bright. And we are actually going to eat. So usually at the end of our group rides, at the end of the group rides, we go to eat. Usually we go to P. Terry's or Sandy's because it's super late at night already. Okay, it's getting spooky because it's dark. And those establishments are open super late, especially on the weekends. But it's very close to where we parked, which is, the Toomey Ballfields. And regarding parking, I think after a certain time on Saturdays, you don't have to pay for parking anymore. So we get there around, sometimes it's 7:30, 8 o'clock. And it's really nice because leaving Sandy's or P. Terry's, we don't have to ride that far to get to where we park. So it's pretty much, we eat dinner. Well, I guess you wouldn't call it dinner. It's so late at night. We eat, and then we go back to the parking lot, which is not a long ride, and then we head home. So it's really great. I would say usually we're out for a couple hours. If you're starting at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then ending, at 11, sometimes midnight, very late. Sometimes people are on the ride. Here we are at Congress Bridge again, where we saw the bats. Sometimes people are part of the riding group, and then they just kind of leave early or part ways before we even eat. So depending on, the people riding. So you always have that option when you're in a group. If you just can't stay for the whole ride, but you want to stay for a portion of the ride, we've had some riders do that. With or without children, so there's always people with kids or not, and it's great because we're all inclusive here, especially on this YouTube channel, EUC in Austin. So on the left hand side here is I believe is the Hyatt Hotel here on the left. I've never stayed there, so if anyone here has stayed at the Hyatt Hotel, let me know what you think. It seems really nice because it is on Town Lake here, and there's some boats here. I think that we were going to be passing a dock here on the right-hand side where they have tours and all that. Years ago, I did take a tour on Town Lake for another group that I was part of, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So here's a docking where they have tours and boats here on the right-hand side, boat tours. And we are just kind of continuing on the trail. There's a boat here on the right-hand side. We're continuing on to get to our final destination and where we're going to eat. You know, we're slowing down here for the pedestrians. We're pretty much covered a lot of territory in the Zilker Park area. Like I said, we started in the Toomey Ballfields where we parked. Then we went to Butler Park. Then we continued along Zilker Park towards Congress Bridge where the bats were. And then we went to the boardwalk. And then from the boardwalk, we took a short break, and now we're going back. So we just passed the Bat Bridge. Watch out for the bump. So that's one of those things where I was saying it's best to try this during the daytime, especially if you've never done this riding, because there are things like that. There's bumps. On our other ride we went a couple weeks ago, there were potholes in the street. Okay, here we are in Zilker Park. It's still kind of dark. You do see some light posts here, so it's not as bad as the other parts where, you know, it got kind of spooky. But you can see, you know, it goes in and out. Now it looks like it's getting dark again. But like I said, we went on another group ride a couple weeks ago. We were new to it, and we had never ridden, actually, at night, but it was a night ride, and yeah, it's getting super dark, and there were several potholes in the street. And this was like a residential neighborhood. I believe it was in the Hyde Park area. And so we're not very familiar with that. It was all new to us. And I'll talk more about the new riding group we just joined. It's been really fun, and I have footage of the rides that we've been. So it's just one of those things where I've got to edit the footage and then do the voiceover. But I'll talk more about that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about certain riding groups, I think I had mentioned, like and subscribe, EUC in Austin. I think I had mentioned in other videos that we've ridden with the Electric Unicycle Club here in Austin. We also have a group ride that we did with the One Wheel Club downtown. So we've enjoyed both of those groups. Are you scared yet? But we're always on the lookout for new groups and new routes as well too. And what we like about this new group that we joined is that there's always a different route, so they change it up. Sometimes, I know people like familiarity, but sometimes some of these groups, not all the time, but sometimes they just continue, and I understand, so that people are familiar with the terrain. They just go on the same routes over and over again. But sometimes we like to, change it up as riders, So as you can see, this is a very, very dark area. It is so dark here. My husband is on that V11, that in-motion V11, so you can really see that light. As you can see, that light is a really good headlight, and it spreads all because you want to see ahead of you, kind of like the road, like you're driving, if there's any obstructions or any potholes or anything in the road, so you can actually avoid them. My light on my in-motion V8, it's not that great. Probably my Sherman Max has a better light, but like I said, with the Sherman Max, one of the things that I don't like is it's just so heavy. I mean, it gives me stability. It's 80 or 90 pounds, but it's really, really heavy. I prefer a wheel that's lighter with portability. I can also make quicker turns with my V8, faster turns versus it's just the difference between driving a truck and driving a smaller car. with the V8, which is a smaller wheel, only 28 pounds. Okay, we're close to the street now, versus my Sherman Max, which is 80 or 90 pounds, which is kind of like a truck. So you're going to be riding those different electric unicycles different ways. Okay, here we are. We are all caught up here with the group. So my daughter's probably there. She has a friend in the group because these are our group friends here. And we're taking a water break here for everyone and also the kids. So stand by. Okay, we are ready to go. So we are continuing on here. And we're going to be leaving Zilker Park to get to our destination where we are going to stop and eat for the night. And I really enjoy these group rides that we have and have the eating at the end, because then everyone can talk about the ride. You know, we just don't leave, and yeah, we need more light for sure. But there's more light here now that we are on the street. But like I was saying, we have something to talk about when we're eating, about how the ride is for everyone, what kind of difficulties they had, and maybe some, suggestions for next time, especially like where else can we ride, to suggest it. Now, I do realize we are with, sometimes there are small children, and a lot of times there's beginners that we're riding with in this particular group. Because our friends actually they do a bike clinic, and they're bike enthusiasts. So we just have to go, and we are casual riders anyways, with the pace of the group in terms of distance-wise and time, and just make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page. I guess that's one of the things when you are, helping to facilitate these riding groups to keep in mind. But as you can see, there's plenty of light here because we are in the streets. We're on the sidewalk. We are here at Lamar here, and I think we're just kind of like catching up here, getting a drink of water. It's very busy in terms of activity. It's a Saturday night. There's my husband on his EUC. It's a Saturday night. There's some paramedics here. I think my friend is actually having some bike issues. She's fixing things. And I believe here we're just kind of waiting. There's a pedestrian bridge on the right-hand side. I don't have any footage in this video on the pedestrian bridge, but I will probably have more footage in the future. That's one of the things I do want to get on these Zilker Park rides when we do ride downtown, of footage when we are on pedestrian bridge. Okay, so my friend, she's okay with her bike. Sometimes you do have bike issues. You bring tools, and we are ready to go here. So again, I think I had mentioned that this is Lamar here, and there's a Zach Theater, if you can tell, Lamar and Riverside. We just saw, I believe, The Wizard of Oz at Zach Theater. It was amazing. And let me know if you've seen it. It's just a great musical. I love musicals. We are stopped here. We are basically waiting to cross. I believe you see that police car. It's been very busy. We're crossing here at Lamar and Riverside to get to our next destination. And sometimes if you're crossing the street and there's a lot of people, I think right now I may be walking. I can't tell from the video. I may be walking my EUC. It's kind of like, a suitcase, at this point. And we cross the street and then, get to the other side safely and then continue on. So we are ready to go, and we are continuing on our ride. There's the Zach Theater here on the right-hand side. It was amazing. When we saw The Wizard of Oz, it was just an amazing production, and it was so great. We just had a great experience. So if anyone here has actually gone to Zach Theater and seen a show, I'd love to hear what you've seen. We do want to see Christmas Carol. It's so hard to get tickets. I know I should probably be looking into tickets now. I tried to get tickets last year, but they were all sold out. But I've heard nothing but good things about A Christmas Carol during the Christmas time, especially if you're in town here for Austin. Okay, so we're riding along the street here, and we had just crossed the street. I guess we were at Lamar and Riverside, and we are continuing along here to get to our final destination of the night, where we are going to eat. And it's either going to be P. Terry's or Sandy's. So I will let you guess. What I like about the Sandy's is that they have, okay, here we're on Riverside. On Sandy's, they have the ice cream cone, which is really nice. Their ice cream. But P. Terry's, okay, we're waiting here to cross. The P. Terry's has the oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. So, okay, so we are going here. We are crossing the street here. I think at this point, since we're kind of all bunched up here, I am walking the electric unicycle. I think I got off the electric unicycle. As you can see, my husband, he is just walking the electric unicycle. It's kind of like a suitcase, like I mentioned, which is great on my V8. So I'm getting back to the sidewalk here. Yes, I'm definitely walking, and I'm going to mount on my electric unicycle and then continue on. So I'm going to continue on here on the street, and we are headed to P. Terry's. So usually, again, it's either Sandy's or P. Terry's. Both are great establishments. I think when we go to Sandy's, I look forward to that ice cream. P. Terry's, that oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, which I really like that cookie. So anyways, we are headed to P. Terry's here. It's a Saturday evening. It's, as you can see, it's very crowded. There's a lot of activity here on the street, and this is the parking lot here for P. Terry's. We are heading to P. Terry's to have our burgers and fries and soda pop. All fun, all good things. Here we are at the P. Terry's in Barton Springs, which is the original P. Terry's. They're always great, very efficient, especially at this time of night when there's a lot of people and it is time to eat. So this is a P. Terry's burger stand here. I'm in the parking lot here. I'm going to get off the wheel and walk it. And we are going to eat some food here at P. Terry's. If you've been here lately, let me know what your experience has been. Or, if you're looking for something, someplace to eat late at night. It's a great establishment. I'd also like to hear what other establishments you go to late at night here. We made it in this area as well, too. Okay, so we're going to break for eating here at the P. Terry's in Barton Springs. And we just finished eating. We are heading back. Like I said, it is very close to the Toomey Ballfields where we parked. So we are leaving P. Terry's and we are making a left on Butler Road. This is so that you can see how close we are actually to where we parked after leaving P. Terry's in Barton Springs. P. Terry's. So we just went from that street and we are going to make a right now on Jesse Street. I think that other street was Butler. So we just made a right on Jesse Street and we are so close to where we park. And that's kind of the nice thing about it. Just having this route so that everything goes smoothly and then you're at the end and you just ate. And you don't want to ride so much after you eat. And then now we're going to make a left on Toomey Road. And from Toomey Road, this is where the parking lot is. So I'll let you see here, EUC in Austin. Here's a Zach Theater South here on the right-hand side so that you can see exactly where we parked. If you've liked what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Let your friends know. Let people know who may be interested in writing here in Austin about our channel. We really appreciate it. We are here now at the parking lot here at Toomey Ballfields. This is pretty much where we park when we go on these rides, these group rides with our friends here, starting at Zilker Park, and we're in the parking lot. So thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe, and I've got some more videos for you coming soon, so take it easy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.